On November 13th, Felix Unger was asked to remove himself from his place of residence.
Yes, he was.
That request came from his wife.
Divorce time.
Deep down, he knew she was right, but he also knew that someday he would return to her.
No shot.
With nowhere else to go, he appeared at the home of his friend Oscar Madison.
Bad idea.
Several years earlier, Madison's wife had thrown him out, requesting that he never return. Can two divorced men share an apartment without driving each other crazy?
Not at all. Sorry, Odd Couple fans. It's the Neutral Ground. Corey Johnson with you for the next 2 hours on the radio. 2 hours of live streaming. CoreyTalks.com, our website. 2 hours on YouTube, Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground. Put that in the search bar on YouTube and click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost a thing. 90 minutes of the 2-hour talk radio program simulcast on television. That's right. We're on the radio. Oh so fine, 93.9 FM. Oh so fine, 93.9 FM. You can check us out on New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. 107.9 FM. 600 AM, that sneaky, powerful AM signal. 600 AM from Baton Rouge all the way to Pensacola, Florida. Up and down the I-10, I-12 corridors. Yeah, you right. I mentioned CoreyTalks.com. Corey spelled K-A-A-R-E. CoreyTalks.com. You can email us, Corey at CoreyTalks.com. Live audio, video streaming at CoreyTalks.com. And I mentioned YouTube for 2 big hours, the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Click to subscribe. Yeah, but we're also on television. 90 minutes of the 2-hour talk radio show on TV all over Louisiana. Cox Channel 4 television, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, outlying areas. Anywhere there is Cox TV in Louisiana, I'm on Cox Channel 4. That's Your View, Louisiana. 4 to 5:30 weekdays. You folks that subscribe to Charter Television, a.k.a. Spectrum TV. Spectrum Channel 333. 3 cubed. 333, Spectrum Channel 333, 4 p.m. to 5:30 weekdays. Yeah, you're right. Learn it, love it, live it. Spread the word. Tell your friends and family about the Neutral Ground, Corey Johnson, telling it like it is, calling out all comers. Now, I was talking to a hyper-liberal friend of mine who hasn't signed the recall. Eileen Carter's crazy. Yeah, but yes, let's say she is or she isn't. The mayor needs to go, right? I don't know. Why do you not know? She's a crook. She's a criminal. She's not doing anything for the city, all for herself. Yeah, but who you're replacing her with? I have no idea, but it can't be any worse, right? Oh, no, it could be worse. Yeah, I guess if you had 100 people, the mayor might be 97th in the worst category. So I guess there's like 98, 99, and 100 that could be worse. But there are 96 out of 100 that would be better. So no, I got a hyper-liberal buddy that's not signing the recall. He and his wife refused to sign the recall. And then just today, I was visiting with a buddy of mine via text up in Baton Rouge. He's a wacky right-winger, loves Carlson Tucker. I was like, dude, you're listening to a guy that admits he lies and who knew that the entire, election fraud thing was a joke, yet still went with it to appease you, his base. Now, I told this guy via text, you believe what you want to believe, what you hope is true, not what is. I'm a little bit different than my extreme left and extreme right-wing friends. I've got friends and acquaintances all across the spectrum. Independents like me, some that are libertarian, some that are conservative, some that are liberal, some that are extreme on the far side. One thing they all have in common, good people, maybe politically a little whacked, but good people. But also, I'm a little different from those guys. I don't care about Republican or Democrat or liberal or conservative. The folks that are part of that are moderate thinking, that have common sense, I can respect them as far as their political view. The extremists, it's a little tougher to respect how they think when there's zero flexibility. For the hardcore right-winger, the Democrat, the liberal is the enemy. They're anti-American. For the extreme left-winger, the Republican, the conservative is the enemy. Anti-American. It just kind of rattles my cage a little bit. I don't care if you're part of a political party or if you're independent like me or libertarian. It's not like independents are all great either. Got a lot of flaky folks there too, extremists that are independents. I just like folks that can come together for the common good, that have common sense. I think what we really need to focus on, politically is the things that are, agreeable by both sides, that are just sort of common sense, that everyone's on the same page. Try to focus in on those things. Vibrant economy, lower taxes, education, infrastructure, strong defense. Anyway, no, that's something different about this program. I think probably a talk radio host in America today, the last 20 years, being not a conservative or Republican, but being an extreme right-winger would probably be the grand slam home run. That seems to be the most popular format in talk radio, extreme right-wing talk. There is a strong audience for it. There is a base, and they are dedicated to it. It seems like a lot of other folks, liberals, you have to do a little work, bust your tail a little bit to try to lure in everybody else. And conservatives and Republicans too. But hardcore right, they are dedicated to the rhetoric of Carlson Tucker. And those folks, I was talking to buddies like, dude, how is Carlson Tucker still on the air? Why didn't Fox fire him? I'm like, he has great ratings. The folks that watch him aren't going anywhere. He could go to bed with their wives or husbands and the spouse would justify it somehow. I was trying to tell a buddy of mine who's kind of left wing, how's Carlson Tucker still there? I'm like, do you not get how it works? First off, Fox makes billions in profit. And even though Hannity, Ingram, and Carlson Tucker are getting exposed during this trial, their audience isn't going anywhere. They're not going to lose a single audience member. If anything, those folks are going to double down. The defense in this trial for Carlson Tucker is hysterical. The defense for Fox is saying, who would believe Carlson Tucker? He doesn't have any kind of a reputation. We know he lies. We know he's a joker. He's a clown. No one's believing him. You've got to be an idiot to believe him. That's the defense that Fox's attorneys are using in this trial for Carlson Tucker. He's a joker. He's a clown. He's an idiot. You'd be a fool to believe what he says. Wow. That pretty much says it all. Now, I'm a little bit different on this program each and every day, telling it like it is. I don't have some ideology that I'm running to the internet and trying to find things that back up my philosophy. You can find that the world is flat if you want. There are people that'll tell you the world is flat. So anything you want or hope to believe, you can go on that intranet device and get folks that'll back up your opinion. I like going where the facts lead me. I don't care if it falls left or right. Do not care in the least bit. And if you listen to this program, I am an equal opportunity basher and praiser. I don't care where it comes from. I like facts. That's my MO. That's part of my DNA. Fair and objective, telling it like it is. Don't care who I alienate or that's mad at me. Had a buddy the other day call me, dude, you ever bump into these folks in New Orleans? I'm like, yeah, bumped into the Heitmeyers, Hilarios, I don't care. They know I don't care. And it's not like I don't give a blank. It's that I know I'm right. The facts led me to where I am. Not worried about bumping into Edwin Edwards' relatives and they're going to be mad at me that I dog Edwin Edwards. I mean, please. Or John Alario, please. Anyway, it is a Thursday afternoon. Corey Johnson with you. Spread the word. You're always welcome to join us, too. Always. We don't screen calls and we'll never cut you off. Rouse's Markets phone lines are always open. 504-766-9480. 766-9480. We should make this guy a co-host, but we got to talk to him about the recall effort, the DA's office taking guns off the street but letting the criminals go. Rafael Goyeneche joins us
Greater
next.
New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore in Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the Italian sausage with peppers or the soft-shell crab ravioli. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool side. NolaAC.com, your cool side.
Healthy and delicious, hard to find in New Orleans, easy to find at Lebanon's Cafe. For the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine, make it the Mediterranean diet on Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" He said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Welcome back, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. You are on the neutral ground till 6 o'clock on the radio. Live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. We're on YouTube. We're on TV till 5:30 all over Louisiana. It's our co-host. We're going to have to work a salary for this guy. He joins us almost once a week. But all kidding aside, it's because there's a violent crime problem in New Orleans and the problem persists, and or there's some political news that directly or indirectly has to do with leadership in New Orleans and maybe trying to solve that crime problem. Rafael Goyeneche with the Metropolitan Crime Commission is with us again. How you doing, Rafael?
Hey, fine, Corey. How are you?
Doing well. Hey, let's work this backwards instead of jamming it in at the end. How can folks get those email blasts that I get a couple of times a week with all the great statistics and breakdowns of what's going on in the city? And also, how can folks maybe get in touch with you guys if they see something unsavory going on in their neighborhood or somewhere in the New Orleans community?
Yes, thank you. There's two ways to do it. You can go to our website, and if you want to make an anonymous complaint or provide us with information about ethical, administrative, or criminal wrongdoing, you can do that online. You can also look at all of the data that we release on crime trends, arrests by the police department, and prosecutions by the district attorney's office, and there's a lot of other information that we keep our website populated with. You can go to metrocrime.org, and or you can call our office and give us your email address, and we can set you up to receive all of this information automatically. There's no cost involved in it. So our phone number is 504-524-3148. And of course, at that number, if you want to talk to me or the head of my investigations unit, Miss Michelle Foster, you can ask for either one of us, and we'll be glad to help you if we can.
Hey, Raphael, as far as the tips part, pretty much everything you guys do, every investigation, every conclusion you come to, and a lot of the time it obviously leads to prison time for these perpetrator types. Is it all tips that got that started?
Right. None of the public corruption cases that we initiate are self-initiated. They're all based on citizens providing us with information. And the reason we operate that way is we're a private agency. We don't have subpoena power. So the only way that we can truly be effective is by people calling us or contacting us and providing us with the information that's necessary. We will then prepare a report, assemble any documentation that we can, and then we will make a referral to the appropriate agency. We're a little bit different than the media. Not to say that what the media does is wrong, but we just operate differently. If we get evidence of wrongdoing, rather than publicize it initially, we're going to send it to an agency that has the ability to hold someone accountable for it. And that allows those agencies the element of surprise, which particularly in a criminal investigation is something that is a strategic advantage for the investigating agency. So that's the way that we generally operate with respect to all of this. But we protect the identity and anonymity of the people that contact us. We've been doing this for 71 years. I haven't been here all that time, although some people may think I have. But, I'm old, but I'm not that old. And but we protect the people that reach out to us, because if we didn't have the public's trust, we wouldn't be as effective as we are.
Now, I'm sure the media also has led you guys in a direction before, right?
Oh, absolutely. The media, in some instances, maybe the best way to get a story out is through the media. And that's part of the reason why I think you contacted me yesterday. When I came into work, I got a tip that there was some unusual activity in magistrate court on Mardi Gras Day. And I looked into it, and I found 19 cases that appeared in magistrate court, and that is the court that someone recently arrested is brought to court for their first appearance to have bail set. And that is supposed to be what that court does, set bail on freshly arrested individuals. So what I found was that in 19 separate cases, the district attorney's office, rather than advocate for bail, refused charges. Now that is unheard of, because at those bail hearings, the police reports haven't been generated. These are arrests that were made on Lundi Gras Day or early on Mardi Gras Day, and they were brought to court for their first bail appearance at about 3:30 in the afternoon on Mardi Gras Day. So there are no reports. There is no body cam footage. The police department hasn't had a chance to prepare that material and submit it, and it's not necessary for a bail hearing. But the district attorney that staffed that court session, rather than advocate for bail, elected to refuse charges without the benefit of the report, without the benefit of speaking with the officers, without the benefit of reviewing any available body cam footage. And I've never seen that done before. So we elected to publicize that, because yesterday afternoon, there were even more gun cases that were scheduled to have their bail set. And we wanted to make sure that what happened on Mardi Gras Day didn't happen on Wednesday afternoon. And sure enough, Wednesday afternoon for that court session, the district attorney's office made an appearance and advocated for bail, our higher bail. They didn't refuse any cases. We went back and we checked at every magistrate session during the Mardi Gras season prior to Mardi Gras Day, and what occurred on Mardi Gras Day didn't happen at any other session. So that was a one-day deal that the district attorney's office gave to offenders. The really alarming part of that is the fact that the ADA that did that wasn't a new hire. Usually magistrate court is a learning ground, a training ground for new hires. That session, Mardi Gras Day, was staffed by the chief of the Civil Rights Division.
Yeah, Ma.
One of the senior prosecutors in the Orleans District Attorney's office. And she's the one that elected to refuse those charges. And I contacted Jason Williams yesterday afternoon, and he told me that he had not been informed by his assistant, Miss Ma, of what she had done. He learned of it because the media publicized it after we disclosed it to the media yesterday morning, and he was in the process of looking into the matter. So, we're dealing with a situation where you have an assistant district attorney that is violating every principle of that office by not screening cases with the benefit of police report, just walking into court and unilaterally refusing charges without talking to her boss about doing that. And I pointed out to the DA during my conversation, this is a bigger issue than just 19 cases that were refused. I said, this is the chief of your Civil Rights Division that's responsible for reviewing the convictions of people that are serving lengthy sentences in the state penitentiary. I said, if she didn't tell you what she did in magistrate court, do you know what she's doing in the Civil Rights Division? I've gone on record as saying I think there needs to be an audit conducted within that office to determine if any of the poor judgment that she exhibited in magistrate court on Mardi Gras Day is present in any of the other cases that her unit and she supervised in that office, which is the Civil Rights Division of the District Attorney's Office. So that remains to be seen what comes of it. The DA's office was busy trying to figure out what happened and what options are available to them. The District Attorney's Office issued a press release saying that they intend to screen those cases. In other words, they're now going to wait to get a police report and review the body cam footage and then make a decision on a case-by-case basis the way that every other case is handled. So good luck with doing that, because I'm looking at the minute entries for magistrate court, and Miss Ma did more than just refuse the cases. She predicated the refusal on the arrested subject for gun arrests, waiving the right to receive their property back. So the state offered a deal. The defendant accepted it. So now if the DA's office goes back on that deal and tries to charge anybody, then the defense is going to file a motion to quash the bill of information saying, we have a deal.
Yep.
And we're holding you to that deal. And let's see how the courts rule on that. There's another, side of this as well. So the 15 gun cases that were refused, treated differently than the other 150 gun arrests that were made by the police department.
Yeah, hold that thought real quick, Raphael. I'm going to knock out a quick break. We're going to come right back. More with Rafael Goyeneche.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about New Orleans food, fresh local seafood, and even a few Italian specialties. Old school New Orleans, just like you remember. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
Hi, everyone. It's Tommy Wrong for AsbestosMoneyGrab.com. This is not, I repeat, not for folks with real asbestos problems. But if you're like me, and we're maybe taking a shop class in high school where you maybe breathed in some brake dust, and you know for certain you're fine, but you're the type of person that takes advantage of these types of situations, get tested, lawyer up, and steal some money like me. Go to I'm not really hurt at all, but like exploiting the system for free cash.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. And it handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Enjoy outdoor dining on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine, Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe.
Welcome back. Corey Johnson with you. Rafael Goyeneche with us also from the Metropolitan Crime Commission. Raphael, so essentially, folks were arrested because they had a concealed weapon, but they didn't have a concealed weapon permit, carrying a concealed weapon. The DA would then request bail with the magistrate. The police report hasn't been turned in yet, so the DA is just trusting the police and the arrest. And Assistant DA Ma, head of the Civil Rights Division, essentially said, and I'm assuming it would be, some of these folks are just legitimate citizens that carried the gun illegally, but I'm sure some are criminals. So essentially the ADA is saying, hey, the stolen stuff that you acquired illegally, as long as you don't request it back, we're going to drop all charges?
Right.
It's kind of mind-blowing.
One of the firearms had been fitted with a device that converted it from a semi-automatic to an automatic weapon.
Wow.
So, you're dealing with an initiative by the police department. The police department, before Mardi Gras, announced that they were going to enforce the firearms laws of Louisiana that prohibited people from carrying concealed weapons and bringing concealed weapons into weapons-free zones like parade routes. So not only did the police department do that with the acknowledgement and support of the district attorney's office, they indicated that the people that would be arrested would be prosecuted and convicted. Now, the district attorney's office did the right thing at every magistrate session since the beginning of Mardi Gras, but on Mardi Gras Day, they deviated from it, didn't tell the police department about it, and they refused those charges.
Wow.
So I talked about one consequence that the DA now is saying that they're going to screen those cases and may charge those individuals, but the law may not support them being able to do that because of the agreement that Ms. Ma confected in court.
Yep.
The converse side of that is all of the additional people that weren't offered that one-day deal of turn in your firearm and not be prosecuted.
Ugh.
They're going to say, I want that deal.
Yep.
This is selective prosecution.
Yep.
So most of these are misdemeanor cases. So now if the district attorney's office is going to do their job and hold those people accountable, they're going to be faced with the additional litigation of either a claim of selective prosecution, or if they elect to charge any of those individuals that they offered that deal to and they go back on that deal, there's potential other litigation involving, you made a promise to us, we relied upon it, and we're holding you to keeping your promise.
Unbelievable. Coupled with the fact that NOPD officers doing their job have to be very discouraged, and the recruiting process of bringing in new cops, they've got to be like, why would I want to go there when this happens?
Well, keep in mind, we had to beg law enforcement agencies from all over the state to come here and help out during Mardi Gras. We spent $1 million bringing in deputies and state troopers from other parts of the state to help the city.
Yep.
And I'm sure some of these weapons arrests were made by them.
Of course.
So when they see the disconnect between the police agencies and the district attorney's office, it's going to make it harder to recruit officers to come back in the future, because our manpower crisis in the police department is not going to be fixed anytime soon. And they're going to be special events where we're going to need additional assistance from outside law enforcement agencies. And what happened in magistrate court on Mardi Gras Day is going to be something that may be forgotten by the community before too long, but people in law enforcement circles are not going to forget it.
Never going to forget it. Essentially, charges dropped without police reports, cops making the arrests, and criminals going free.
Correct.
Hey, and again, you said ADA Ma did this on her own without the DA's blessing.
That's what was told to me. That's what was told to me.
Is there any conflict of interest that ADA Ma is the head of the Civil Rights Division?
Well, no. I mean, look, she was hired from the Innocence Project. So she was essentially a criminal defense attorney working to get people that had been convicted out of the penitentiary, particularly those that had been wrongfully convicted. So it's something that's unique to New Orleans, but even under Leon Canizero for a period of time, he entered into a partnership with a nonprofit where they were reviewing some of the older cases to determine if anybody's rights were violated or anything needed to be corrected. So the fact that she was on the Innocence Project is not a conflict of interest. In fact, Jason Williams was never a prosecutor when he was elected to be DA. He had only been a defense attorney. In fact, he was on the board of directors of the Innocence Project. That's how he knew Emily Ma. So it's not a per se conflict of interest to hire a defense attorney or someone from the Innocence Project. What would potentially be a conflict is that if she was making decisions on cases that she was directly involved in defending or advocating for somebody's release when she was a member of the Innocence Project. I'm not aware of that right now, but I certainly think that that's something that the district attorney's office now, in light of what's happened in magistrate court, needs to do a deeper dive on to determine if there are any problems in the Civil Rights Division that were manifested in magistrate court on Mardi Gras Day.
You mentioned a potential internal audit by Jason Williams looking into Ma and, what other things she does, making sure that everybody's on the same page. Would it be a good idea to maybe have Ed Michel, the Office of Inspector General, do that audit?
Well, that would be a huge undertaking because you're going to need to know a lot of criminal law, a lot of procedures involved in all of that. I think that, at least for initial purposes, there needs to be a preliminary investigation. And if Jason Williams or that internal probe uncovers something, I think it may be appropriate for the district attorney's office to bring in an external entity to conduct that investigation. I just don't know if the inspector general's office has the bandwidth to conduct an investigation like that.
And they got so much other stuff on their plate. It's insane.
Exactly, and a lot of it is going to have to do with criminal matters and procedures and things that they would need to bring in an expert to help them with that. Yeah.
Hey, Raphael, on another topic, just a couple of questions. The mayor's peeps, I think her campaign director, said that she's worried about this potential voter purge, the lawsuit that the NoLatoya.org folks have put together, that mandamus order. Do you have any concern about a voter purge?
It's not a purge. Okay, under the law, the registrar of voters' responsibility, whether it's Orleans Parish or any other parish, is responsible for maintaining an active voter list of eligible voters in every parish. What the recall organizers have identified is potentially 30,000 inactive voters being carried on the active rolls. So as they began to identify this in the last days of their push for the 30,000, as they were attempting to verify their signatures and everything, they've uncovered the fact that the registrar of voters hasn't performed her duties. So the way to address that is to file a mandamus action, going into court and asking a judge to compel the registrar of voters to present an accurate list of active voters and to remove the inactive voters. That doesn't mean that an inactive voter is being purged. It's the responsibility of the registrar to identify and distinguish active from inactive.
500.
If you're determined to be inactive, you could still show up at the polls and vote if you present a driver's license and prove that you're living at the address that you're claiming. And it's easy to correct, but it's crucially important to determine what the actual number of signatories are needed to trigger a recall election.
It could reduce the number by 6,000.
30,000 votes, that's a difference of 6,000 signatures.
Hey, Raphael, we've got about 15 seconds. Any concern from you that Dr. Sandra Wilson, the registrar of voters, can get this done as the law requires in 20 days?
It's going to be a challenge with her staff. I think she's going to need some reinforcement, and that means that the city council is going to have to give her some extra money to make sure that she meets that deadline. I think it's important. It remains to be seen how this is going to play out, but I think that that's going to be a daunting task for 6 individuals to go through 50,000 of those affidavits.
Good point. Hey, Raphael, always a pleasure, man.
Anytime. Good talking to you, Corey. Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Corey
Dave
Johnson.
Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, more color for under $5, so you can test gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's families, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30, and they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 all the time.
Come to Fausto's Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Recently, Kim Kardashian was seen at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Let's party.
Can you think of any other celebrities that won't sue us? Super Discount Store in Chalmette. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. 3235 Paris Road.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson, where the grass hasn't been cut in weeks or months. There's a lot of trash and garbage on the neutral ground, maybe even a person or two taking a nap. And oh, someone didn't pick up the dog
Boy, with this ridiculously warm weather, great time to knock out that painting project. You know where to go, Helm Paint and Decorating. You know, I was listening today to one of these radio stations and those goofy coating commercials about, do you want to paint your house every year? I mean, do you know anyone even using a crappy paint that paints their house every year? And then the opposite is sort of true. Don't get ripped off and spend a ridiculous amount of money with one of these coating companies. When it's time to paint, New Orleanians that know go to Helm Paint and Decorating. For over 50 years, they've got lifetime paint products from Benjamin Moore, all different price points. Lasts forever. You don't have to paint every year. You don't have to paint every decade. You never have to paint your house again. Helm Paint and Decorating. Yeah, don't get ripped off. You know what those coating companies are? The world's most expensive home painting companies. When in the commercial, they say, more affordable than you think. You know what that means? It's ridiculously expensive. More affordable than you think means hyper costly, super expensive. When you want to paint in Metro New Orleans, do it once, do it right. They truly will steer you in the right direction. Helm Paint and Decorating, it goes in the no-brainer category. This goes in the no-brainer category. You want to do something righteous? You want to feel good about something? You want to give a donation to a great cause where the money actually goes to where it's supposed to go? I stand by these guys and have been for a few decades now. Jeff Dorson joins us again from the Humane Society of Louisiana. You want to see what they do? Go to their Facebook page, Humane Society of Louisiana. They're constantly updating it. And why don't you go to their website, humanela.org, and donate right now. humanela.org. Jeff, how are you?
I always appreciate these minutes we have, Corey, because you're always generous with your time and supporting us. You've been supporting us for 25 plus years, and that's remarkable, and we're all grateful for it.
Well, you've been at it for 30 plus, and that's remarkable. And everyone should be grateful because we're really slacking in Louisiana. I did hear some good news, though. Ascension Parish voters came up with, they approved money for a new animal shelter, but apparently Ascension Parish is having trouble purchasing the land for that shelter. But good news that the citizens said, yes, we do need this. That's encouraging.
It is, and I'd like to see the amount, is it like 1.5 million or something, and that's significant. Yeah, getting the land will be now challenging. People don't want it in their neighborhoods, so they keep moving it farther back away from people, which is less convenient. But, give and take. I'm grateful that people care. We want more shelters, better shelters, more modernized shelters, so I'm all for it.
Hey, are some horses that were used in Mardi Gras still available for adoption? And the price is ridiculous, like $700 to $900. I mean, horse people that have the land, that love the animals, they've got to be giddy about such a proposition where they can acquire a horse for $700, $800, $900.
Yeah, well, that's a given rate for these particular horses. But you're right, we're down to about 3 or 4 or less. And we're so grateful that people now look forward to the end of Mardi Gras where they can purchase some of the parade horses. We're talking about the Mardi Gras Horse Parade Adoption Program that we instituted back in 2017 to ensure that the horses that were purchased to appear in our parades weren't resold back to the brokers and ended up being sold for slaughter. So we're lucky we have the safety net. It's been working very well. People have been very great about purchasing them and showing us pictures of how they're doing on their property and their stalls and their barns. It's going well.
Boy, you had an interesting day up at the Capitol, Baton Rouge. 6 members of Governor Edwards' staff, some vets from the Agriculture Department, a captain from the state police. What were you trying to accomplish in Baton Rouge?
Well, thank you for that lead. And this was something that we've been working on for decades. I actually went to the similar, smaller meeting back when Romer was governor. So I'm laughing at myself.
No, that's 87 to 91, by the way.
Yeah, I've been knocking on this door for a long time.
Wow.
And so I finally wrote I wrote a forceful letter to the governor saying, we are in crisis. Here's why. Here's what has to be done. We have to bring everybody to the table. If you're serious, if you want to stop this suffering and stop us being last in every metric for animal welfare, bring everybody to the table, please, Mr. Governor. And let's have a high-level discussion about what we can do about dividing some money finally for animal welfare, because it's always left out. We're never at the table where decisions are made. And this year we have another budget surplus, very unusual for Louisiana. And he kept his word. He didn't keep his word. He actually said he agreed with our position, and he stuck to it, and he brought everybody together. We had a great conversation, a discussion about, yes, now's the time. Let's form these partnerships and alignments and work together to get some money and build some more public shelters, improve the ones we have, and let's tackle some of these heinous criminal conduct, and let's use the state police. So it was a great moment, something I've been working for many years. I'm grateful that everybody came to the table and saw the need.
Yeah, get $2 to $3 million, spread it out between 20 and 30 parishes, and get $100,000 to each to build shelters or update existing shelters. Use those containers to build shelters. Mm-hmm. Always good stuff. Look who's saying hello. There's Blue Boy Jeff.
Guess it's time for me to go, but I appreciate these minutes.
HumaneLA.org. Go to the website right now and donate. He's excited when you're on. HumaneLA.org. Thanks as always, Jeff.
I got you, Corey. Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Stick
You're
around.
on the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 5 p.m.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
If you or a loved one are suffering from addiction, listen to Springfield Wellness Center's founder, Paula Norris Metier.
I feel personally, when I walk around on the grounds, that it's sacred ground. It's healing. Just the environment is healing. Just being here makes one feel like that, I can let go. I can let go of the worry. I can let go of the stress that I've been carrying around for a long time. We don't shame anybody. We don't blame anybody. We don't judge anyone. Just that alone really is the foundation on which everything else that we do is done.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center, 504-291-4000.
Just call us. That's all. And we'll be waiting for you.
504-291-4000. 291-4000. Springfield Wellness Center. SpringfieldWellnessCenter.com.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about John Fury, an absolute genius at the fryer, making the best fried shrimp in New Orleans. None better anywhere. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, hey, what can I do to give you a hand? He said, well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place. So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Once upon a time, there were 3 beautiful girls.
Could you even say that today?
A police academy.
You may have to drop the beautiful part.
Graduated from a top school for models. And they each reaped the rewards of their exciting careers. But I took them away from all that, and now they work for me. My name is Charlie.
Coming up next, it's Charlie's Angels. Kate Jackson, Farrah Fawcett, Jacqueline Smith. Charlie's Angels next. Yeah, you right, Mr. Drew Brees. Thank you for that intro. No Charlie's Angels. It's Corey Johnson, the Neutral Ground, 5 o'clock power hour on this Thursday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Thanks for checking us out on the radio. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM. Thanks for checking us out on television till 5:30. We'll roll on radio, on YouTube, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com till 6. 5:30 on TV, 4 to 5:30 weekdays on the television set. That's Cox Channel 4 television throughout the state. Spectrum Channel 333 television throughout the state. Yeah, you right. Thursday afternoon, 5 o'clock power hour, brought to you by Lebanon's Cafe this afternoon. I got a to-go order earlier today from Lebanon's Cafe. Outstanding. Some of the finest Middle Eastern food in Metro New Orleans. A little chicken shawarma, some tabbouleh, a fried football kibbe. Yummy. Blue Boy loves the hashwi, the inside of the fried kibbe. Tolly, my Australian shepherd, likes some tabbouleh every now and then. Wow. And who doesn't like chicken shawarma? I get it a little extra crispy. Fantastic. Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette, right by the streetcar barn. When the weather's like this, outdoor dining tonight. They're open till 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe in Uptown. You won't be disappointed. 5 o'clock power hour this afternoon, brought to you by Lebanon's Cafe. A lot to discuss. Rafael Goyeneche, he's almost like a co-host now, huh? I don't want to say once a week, but probably 3 times a month lately, every other week. Rafael Goyeneche joining us on the program, or he might join us like on a, like today, Thursday, and then he'll be on a week from like Monday, like, within like 10 days or so, just because so much is going on. The latest and greatest, these police doing their job, arresting these folks with concealed weapons. And the assistant district attorney, Ma, without even police reports, knowing if these are criminals or not, if these are stolen guns or not, without even looking at the police report, cutting deals with these folks. Hey, we keep the gun, we drop the charges. Okay. I mean, some criminal that stole the gun, it's an illegal firearm. So what you're telling me, the thing I stole, you keep the stolen goods and I walk free? Fantastic. I'll take that deal every day, all the time. It's mind-blowing. According to Rafael Goyeneche, who said he spoke with DA Jason Williams was unaware of ADA Ma cutting these deals in magistrate court. Good thing that Rafael Goyeneche got involved and called Jason Williams, because Williams says, I did not know. And then the next day went in there and stopped it. Now, besides just guns, stolen guns and criminals getting off scot-free, Rafael brought up a great point that other folks that are may say, hey, I want that deal. I want that take the gun and I walk free deal. This can of worms outside of potential criminals walking free, giving up something they stole, an illegal firearm, coupled with the fact that the NOPD, and officers brought in from out of town during Mardi Gras that make these valid arrests, the criminals right back out on the street. It's got to just be very discouraging to those police officers doing their work and seeing these criminals walk free, and also trying to recruit new cops. Why do I want to be part of that force where I make an arrest, a legitimate arrest, and without even my police report, this assistant district attorney's cutting deals to let these folks off? Mind-blowing on so many different levels. A major concern. No, thank goodness Rafael Goyeneche gets involved. Thank goodness Jason Williams is in agreement with Raphael saying and has stopped this practice already, just one day of it. So that's a big blessing. Yeah, Rafael Goyeneche joined us about that. And also, just to clarify a couple of questions about the recall, Mayor LaToya, the Destroyer Cantrell's campaign manager, the only person from her staff commenting on the recall, worried about voter purge, 86ing folks off the rolls. And Raphael said it so well. Anyone that has a valid driver's license can show up to the polls and show them that license. And if they're registered to vote at that address, they'll be able to vote. It isn't a voter purge. It's about this mandamus action, which is a legal maneuver, basically saying, hey, Registrar of Voters, Secretary of State, just do your job. Make sure that the folks that are registered to vote in New Orleans are actually legitimate. And according to the recall folks, and the Registrar of Voters will verify this. It'll either be true or not. It's in the court of Dr. Sandra Wilson, the Registrar of Voters, and Kyle Arduin, the Secretary of State, essentially her boss. They're claiming 500 plus folks are deceased that are still registered to vote in New Orleans. There are 9,000 folks registered to vote in New Orleans that don't live in Orleans Parish any longer. And there's over 20,000 that not only don't live in Orleans Parish any longer, don't live in Louisiana any longer. So if those accusations are true, the mandamus action of, hey, do your job, they'll do their job and they'll double check this and they'll either verify it and get those folks off the voter rolls, or they'll say, no, you made a mistake. These folks aren't dead. These folks that you say don't live in Orleans still do. These folks you said that moved out of state still live in Orleans Parish. So there's no downside to this. And Raphael kind of clarified that. And then I asked him any concern about Dr. Sandra Wilson, the Registrar of Voters, being able to get this done in the next 20 days as the law requires. And I'm talking about verifying the signatures that NoLatoya.org folks have delivered. And Raphael says she's probably going to have to go to the city council, request some funds to hire some folks that can help her get this done in less than 3 weeks, 20 days by law. Now, it has to be done by March 14th. That's quick. But that's the way it should be. It shouldn't drag out. 20 days is enough time. Maybe not for this understaffed department. And that's where going to the council, requesting funds, hiring some people quickly to get this job done, because it's pretty important. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open if you'd like to participate. Area code 504. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. Hey, there's an interstate they're talking about building. It's going to go from Texas to Georgia. That's the main part. Powerful Texas, powerful Georgia. You know, I guess the gravy, the lanyard, it's got to go through Louisiana. It's got to go through Mississippi. Got to go through Alabama. Those trio of states that maybe don't have the stroke of a Texas or Georgia get the benefits of it. What would this interstate be? A central Louisiana, east to west, west to east interstate going from Texas through Louisiana to Georgia. Can you name what that interstate would be named? What? Interstate what? I'll give you a hint. It's a number. And since it's east to west, it's an even number. Give me the answer to that. And I've got 50 big bucks for you. Good at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And here's another hint. I-10, I-20, the number's got to be between 11 and 19. And actually, I shouldn't even say that, between 12 and 18. Even number only. A potential interstate rolling through central Louisiana, basically from Leeville to Vidalia. Give me the name of that interstate. Speaking of interstate, a future interstate that would go from the Superdome to Kansas City, Missouri. Nonstop, no traffic lights. Superdome to Kansas City, Missouri. Give me the answer. I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. 4 area locations: Mid-City, New Orleans, Metairie near North Kenner, North Shore and Slidell, Baton Rouge. Coming in about 3 weeks, a Mandeville location, Cheyenne country. Yeah, you're right. 766-9480. Call us. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. I got a couple of $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates for you. Yeah, the feds and the states want to build an interstate going west to east, Texas to Georgia, or east to west, Georgia to Texas. The beneficiaries of those powerful states' initiative, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. In Louisiana, this interstate would run from Leesville over by Manny, over by that huge reservoir on the state line, to Vidalia, near Natchez, Mississippi, to the Mississippi River there. What is this interstate going to be known as? I-what? Since it's an east to west interstate, it's going to be an even number. And then you figure with I-10 running in the south part of Louisiana, I-20 running in the north part, it's got to be either I-12, 14, 16, or 18, right? Only 4 choices, lots of hints. You got an answer? Area code 504, Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480 to participate. 766-9480. I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you at one of the 4 area Woodhouse locations, a 5th Mandeville coming online soon. 766-9480. As usual, no cheating, no intranet device, no Google, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, or Bing. You either know the answer or you don't. 766-9480. There's a future interstate planned for Louisiana that's going to run from New Orleans to Kansas City, Missouri, from the Superdome to Kansas City. Give me the answer to that. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. You got answers? I got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you, the city's premier day spa experience. Boy, Biloxi's considering building a sky ride. You remember at Pontchartrain Beach, Disney World, you get up, it's like a ski lift type of thing. 2 folks can sit in it, you pull down the bar and up you go in the air across the venue, come down on the other side. Biloxi's talking about building one that would have 5 stops where it would come on the ground, go back up, and cut along Biloxi's beach for a few miles. There was a great idea. I mean, I think this is a great idea too. About 40 years ago, building a sky ride from Biloxi's mainland to Deer Island in the Gulf, going across the Gulf to Deer Island. Now, unlike, what's the island that's like 10 miles off the coast? Maybe Horn. And there's a few others that are maybe not 10 miles, but I mean, some of these used to be occupied. Some of them had camps until Katrina knocked out the camps. Deer Island's like a quarter mile off the coast. It's right there. Folks kayak to Deer Island. You don't need like a motorboat to get there. It's like a quarter mile, maybe 1,500 yards, 10, 12, 15 football fields off the coast. You could easily have a sky ride to get to there. And I think that would be incredible. Yeah, Ship Island. Yep. That one you need a boat. That's probably 4 or 5 miles off the coast. But Deer Island's like a quarter mile. Anyway, they're not talking about going to Deer Island. I think that would be a nice thing to do. But they're talking about just paralleling the beach from one end of Biloxi to the other. Interesting idea for the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Hey, tonight, the 30 and 29 Pels in Toronto taking on the 28 and 31 Raptors. 6:30 tonight. That game tips off in a little over an hour. The Pels are 7th in the West, but boy, the Western Conference is insanely competitive. From the 12th seed out of the playoffs, from the 12th seed to the 3rd seed, like you're near the top of the West. From the 12th seed to the 3rd seed, 4.5 games separate them. From the 12th seed to the 3rd seed in the West, 4.5 games separate those teams. The Pels have 23 games left in their season, or basically about 70% plus of the season in the books. About 28, 29% of the Pels season is all that's left. Regular season. One thing I love about the NBA, you could start tuning in right now and just catch the last 28% of their season. And if your team makes the playoffs, I mean, the playoffs in the NBA run for 2 months. For 8 weeks. It's pretty awesome. From mid-April till June. I mean, it's like winter storms and, folks are using the snowblower it's summertime when the finals start. It's pretty amazing. Now, I know we're in spring now and not winter anymore, but a lot of areas, right now you got a winter storm watch for a huge part of the country. They're saying in like Minneapolis that could be the worst snow in the history of that city. And this is like for 72, 96 hours, like 3 or 4 days straight. So in, mid-April to mid-June, the NBA playoffs, it's like a second season like no other postseason in pro sports. Pretty amazing stuff. Anyway, a lot of folks, you tune in an NBA game the last 5 minutes and you catch a ton of action. Especially, obviously, if it's a close game. I know you catch the tail end of the NBA season in the playoffs, you're catching so much great action. Anyway, the Pels in action tonight in Toronto, taking on the Raptors at 6:30. Boy, you get Zion Williamson back, and that's like a huge question mark. The Pels are a, top 3-4 seed in the West. They're one of the better teams in the entire NBA with Zion Williamson joining CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram and the whole crew. Corey Johnson with you. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. They want to build an interstate from Texas to Georgia. Obviously, a part of it will go right through the middle of Louisiana, the central part of the state, from west to east, Texas to Georgia, or east to west, Georgia to Texas. Basically, from Leesville to Vidalia. What is that interstate named? What is it designated as? What? Give me the answer. I got 50 big bucks. 50 bucks for you at the Woodhouse. There's a future interstate that's going to go from the Superdome to Kansas City, Missouri. Nonstop, no traffic lights. Interstate. From the Dome to the West Bank, straight north from there, essentially. A little northwestish, but mostly north. What is that interstate named? What is it designated as? Give me the answer to either one of those interstate questions, and I've got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Hey, every day this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra, right on the car corner of Williams Boulevard and I-10 in Kenner. Right on the corner, right on the price. The over $50 million Lamarck Automotive Complex, about 11 acres. Pretty impressive. I'm sorry, about 15 acres. Pretty impressive. Acres and acres, rows and rows of vehicles for you at the Lamarck Automotive Complex. If that wasn't impressive enough, Ronnie Lamarck acquired Crescent City Ford in Elmwood on Jefferson Highway, the legendary Ford truck dealership. Yeah, Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner, and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Hey, TV audience, we say adios. I'll see you tomorrow, straight up 4 o'clock. Yeah, you right. Every day, this program on radio, on television. You can check us out on YouTube. Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. It's brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park does not slow down one bit. Thursday afternoon edition of the program, post Mardi Gras, Lent going on. A lot to discuss. Rafael Goyeneche joined us last hour. Thank goodness for Rafael Goyeneche getting in touch with DA Jason Williams and questioning that office. And Jason Williams apparently was unaware of ADA, that's Assistant District Attorney Ma, the head of the Civil Rights Division, going in, and it was a little less than 24. There were 170 plus arrests on like Friday. I shouldn't say on Friday. I think Monday and Mardi Gras Day, of folks carrying a firearm, concealed firearm, without having a concealed permit. So illegal. They were arrested. The guns taken. Now, after the trial, you pay your penalty, you whatever, serve time, whatever it might be, you can get your gun back if it's your gun. But here's the rub. 19 cases went to magistrate court on Mardi Gras Day, as they should. You get arrested, you get your, right away, you got to get set bail, all that type of stuff. ADA Ma, without any police reports, not knowing if it's you, me, a criminal, Malik Neighbors, the LSU wide receiver, none of the details of the police report. Is the gun legal? Is the gun illegal? Basically cuts a deal with 19 folks. Hey, if we can keep the gun, charges are dropped. And 19 folks said, sure. It causes a major problem. Besides the NOPD making arrests and being discouraged that, boy, I just arrested someone carrying an illegal firearm and you just let them free without even my police report file. You don't know any of the details. That's discouraging as hell. Potential recruits that want to join the NOPD. I'm going to make an arrest and then a DA just, without even looking at my police report, could release the criminal that I risked my life, that I busted my tail arresting. Just crazy. And then worse than that, anyone arrested with a gun, an illegal firearm, not having a concealed weapon permit, they're going to go, hey, I want the deal where you keep the gun and I walk free. Criminals with stolen guns that might be in jail right now, they're going, hey, I want that deal. Why don't I get that deal? You keep my gun, I walk free. So just really opening a can of worms, ADA Ma. No, Rafael Goyeneche talks to Jason Williams. Jason Williams said he was unaware of that ADA Ma did this on her own without consulting with her boss. That's according to Jason Williams, according to Rafael Goyeneche. Jason Williams, starting today, they're not allowing that deal. The other 150 plus cases that are going to magistrate judge where a bail is set, and the DA doesn't have the police report yet. No, they're not cutting a deal where, hey, we keep the gun, you're free. You're free to go. Now, I don't know what ADA Ma is thinking, like, I'm getting guns off the street. You're getting guns off the street automatically. But it's about keeping criminals off the street, too, if these are illegally acquired guns. Just mind-blowing. And I talk about the DA, these hyper-woke judges, the NOPD, any part of, this law enforcement entity, everyone needs to be on the same page. It's like building a car at a car plant. You want to build a quality car, you can't have everyone doing a great job except the guy who puts in the AC. He's kind of a hack, and the ACs tend to not work right. Or the guy who installs tire. Yeah, the rim and the tire could just fall off the vehicle. Well, it's not going to be a quality car, no matter how good all the other folks build that vehicle. You have a problem like that, it's not going to be a quality built car. How are we going to have an efficient, effective, law enforcement in New Orleans when everybody's not on the exact same page? Now, I bring up these hyper-woke magistrates and judges with the low bail, folks getting out for violent criminals, violent felons, illegal firearm, resisting arrest, all this, getting out on $300, $400. It's absolutely insane. Now, everybody's got to be on the same page. And, that's the macro picture. The micro, the DA's office, that ADA Ma not on the same page as her boss, Jason Williams, that's pretty disturbing. No, thank goodness for Rafael Goyeneche. The mayor getting finally a comment, at least from her peeps. The mayor's campaign director, who helped LaToya, the Destroyer Cantrell, not win one, but 2 elections in the city. Mind-blowing. She's a hero for the Destroyer. She made comments worrying about voter purge, where this lawsuit is going to take active voters off the rolls. It doesn't do that at all. If you're an active voter and you have a driver's license and ID with your address and you go to the polls like you always have, they'll match that and the signature and you'll be able to vote like before. But what the recall folks are claiming, and if it's true, they have a major point. And here's the best part. They're not claiming it and then just, it's their word. It's a mandamus action, basically requiring the Orleans Parish Registrar of Voters and the Secretary of State, Kyle Ardoin, to simply do their job. And their job would be making sure the folks that are registered to vote in New Orleans are legitimate. That those roles have legitimate folks that should be voting in Orleans Parish. The NoLatoya.org folks say there are at least 500 deceased people. 500. That's 100 more signatures they would not need for the recall. At least 500 folks that are dead. They're deceased. How can they vote? The recall folks are also claiming there are at least 9,000 Orleans Parish residents that no longer live in Orleans Parish, either have moved to Jefferson Parish, the North Shore, or somewhere else in Louisiana. 9,000. 20% of 9,000, it's about 1,800 more voters? 1,800 or signatures? 1,800 plus another 100. You're talking about 2,000 right there. 2,000 right there alone. And then they also claim that over 20,000 voters that are registered in Orleans Parish not only don't live in Orleans Parish, they don't even live in the state of Louisiana anymore. Moved to Texas or somewhere else. Don't even live in Louisiana. 20% of 20,000. That's another 4,000. We're talking like 6,000 plus signatures not needed potentially. So instead of 49,900, it would be like 43,000, 44,000 signatures needed. Now, the only thing I can hope, and I am pro-recall, I think LaToya Cantrell has deserves a third election. The only concern I have is, okay, I guess they've got, because Eileen Carter said so, and that's all I can go with. The Registrar of Voters will verify it. Eileen Carter says they have over 50,000 signatures. But I hope it's not just 50,000 plus. I hope it's 54, 55, 57, 58,000. Because some of those signatures, I'm assuming, an I's not dotted, a T's not crossed, something, they're going to get thrown out. But boy, reducing the number from 49,000 to 43, 44,000, it makes the 50,000 plus signatures that Eileen Carter's claiming to have, gives you a little bit of a cushion. Is there a concern that Dr. Sandra Wilson, the registrar of voters in Orleans Parish, can get this knocked out in 20 days? She says she can, but she also says she's understaffed, but they saw this coming and they're ready to move on this. Rafael Goyeneche said she may have to get in front of the council and say, hey, city council, I got now 19 days. I got 19 days left. I need some extra money so I can hire additional staff to get this job done by law. It's got to be done in 20 days, no exceptions. Doesn't matter if you're understaffed or working alone. So it'll be interesting to see if Dr. Sandra Wilson, over the next few days, how many they got done, how much time's left, do the math, can they get it done in time? 19 days left, March 14th. Got to have verification or not for this recall. So I think in the next few days she'll figure out, boy, we're pacing fine. We'll get it done with the even understaffed. We'll get it done. Or will she be like, we're nowhere near pacing. We're way behind. There's no way we're going to catch up. We need more people getting this done. We're going to have to go to the city council and request some money. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. Hey, tomorrow, Fantasy Friday edition of the program, Fletcher Mackel will join us. Frank Brightson from his world-famous restaurant, world-class chef, James Beard, award-winning chef. And also Michael Hecht will join us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. That segment with Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc., always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. And guess what? Because Latrim is growing and expanding. I mean, they've been on a run for like 20, 30 years straight, just expanding all around the globe. There is a Latrim headquartered on every continent in the world. They're in just about every country or every area of the world. Latrim truly is a global manufacturing giant, born, based, bred right here in New Orleans. A culture of innovation at Latrim. And because of their enormous expansion, they're constantly hiring. If you go to their website, latrim.com, they have a full listing of positions available, a new job, a new career for you. And I'm not talking like 2 or 3 job openings. Dozens and dozens and dozens of job openings at latrim.com. East Bankers, West Bankers. Latrim has you covered at their Elmwood facility, right under the UEP Long Bridge in Elmwood in Harahan. North Shore folks, you don't have to make that causeway ride to Elmwood. Latrim's got you covered right down the I-12 outside of Hammond with their North Shore facility. For a full listing of positions available, go to latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, latrim.com. You know, it's New Orleans. We don't eat to live. We live to eat. And I do that every day. I mean, I try to eat, healthy. I try not to overdo it, but I try to eat something good for lunch and dinner. I'm not a big breakfast eater, but I'll do it occasionally. But lunch and dinner is important. I don't want to eat garbage or something trashy or something that's not flavorful and good. Kind of a New Orleans food snob like a lot of us. You might see me at Fausto's Italian Bistro tonight, and I might do it outside because the weather is perfect for outdoor dining. I almost went there last night, but I didn't. So maybe tonight I make it to Fausto's with this great weather and dine outside. Yeah, I mentioned yesterday something lemony like the pesce limone, usually speckled trout or black drum in this great lemony sauce, one of the best fish dishes in the city, the pesce limone at Fausto's. And then speaking of lemony, that veal piccata, very tough to beat. Little cutlets of veal in this lemony sauce. I don't get the capers, but, I recommend that you probably get the capers. I'm kind of a picky eater. Fausto's Italian Bistro, the veal piccata with the fettuccine Alfredo. Get a little house salad with the Italian dressing. Maybe start with some crab claws. Great appetizer. New Orleans-inspired Italian and Sicilian. They're open till 9 p.m. tonight, till 10 o'clock tomorrow and Saturday night. Yeah, tonight for dinner, outdoor dining with this weather. Make it Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Being a part of people's lives from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's restaurant in Metairie. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. nola.woodhousespas.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
If you or a loved one are suffering from Parkinson's disease, listen to Springfield Wellness Center's founder, Paula Norris Metayer.
People started coming to us and asking for help for things other than addiction. We have a Parkinson's patient here. He comes in once a month and gets his little booster, because that's what you have to do. In 2 hours after he started, his tremors in his hands stopped. So he said, Paula, your major marketing challenge is that it's too good to be true. But it's true. It truly is true. We can't say that all of these things have a cure, but these things happen and they're real.
Call Springfield Wellness Center, 504-291-4000.
Just call us. That's all. And we'll be waiting for you.
Make the call, 504-291-4000, 291-4000. Springfield Wellness Center, springfieldwellnesscenter.com.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
About the Zulu King, y'all. Talking about the Zulu King. Talking about the Zulu King, y'all.
Yeah, you're right. I told you about Rouse's, your Mardi Gras headquarters. All the supplies, everything you need for your Mardi Gras parade, parties, and the like. Also, you walk into a Rouse's over Mardi Gras, smells like king cakes, smells like Mardi Gras. Baking king cakes at every location. You can send them around the country. You know, I told you about that. But it's a year-round thing with Rouse's, your neighborhood grocery. They got you covered for everything you need. Local products, national products, even international products. I love the Rouse's labeled stuff. I've been buying the Rouse's extra virgin olive oil now. I did a little taste test at home. I had like a Cola Vita, the Rouse's, put them in a plate, same color, same taste. I mean, I don't know if they're using that, company for their olive oil, but that's how Donnie Rouse and Rouse's Markets does it. They scour the country, even the world, and get with some, name brands that have super high quality products and work a deal with them and get that high-end product with a Rouse's label on it. The benefit for you, because they're avoiding the middleman. It's a Rouse's labeled product. They're buying in bulk. You get that ridiculously high quality name brand product with a Rouse's label at about half the cost. Like this extra virgin olive oil was like $8, $10, $12 for a big bottle instead of $16, $18, $20, $25 for a big bottle. Now, I'm not going to skimp and, hey, I'm going with the Rouse's label because it's half the price and it's not good quality. The opposite. I'm going with the Rouse's label because it's half the price and it's the same quality or better. I don't sell out and settle. I don't get Chinese crawfish because they're $6 a pound and the local fresh crawfish are $14 a pound. I get the local fresh crawfish. I don't do that kind of thing. These Rouse's labeled products are absolutely incredible. You will not be disappointed. Not in the quality, and you'll definitely love the price. Rouse's Market, best quality, best price, best selection. Tastes like home. Rouse's Markets. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you can check it out on YouTube right now. Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground. Rafael Goyeneche, almost like a co-host now, joins us about every 10 days on the program because this violent crime problem persists and craziness goes down, like 170-plus arrests over Mardi Gras for illegal gun possession, not having a concealed weapons permit, yet having a concealed weapon. 170 arrests. On Mardi Gras Day, 19 of those folks arrested were in front of a magistrate judge. The assistant district attorney, Ma, was in there cutting deals. Hey, if we get to keep the gun, we drop all charges. Could you imagine that? Especially with a criminal with a stolen illegal gun. DA Ma, Assistant DA Ma, had no idea what the situation was because there was no police report. This is the preliminary post-arrest magistrate hearing where bail is usually set. So they don't even have the police report yet. So Ma doesn't know the details. And for some of these folks who are criminals with a stolen gun, she's saying, if we get to keep the gun, you go free. Could you imagine that? You rob a bank. You stole a TV set. You stole a car. Hey, if we get to keep the car, the money, the TV set, you go free. It's mind-blowing. It's someone else's gun, potentially. It's an illegal firearm. And cutting the deal that apparently DA Jason Williams was unaware of. She didn't, get this cleared with her boss. Rafael Goyeneche calls Jason Williams, and now they're not cutting these deals anymore, and that's an absolutely good thing. It's a good thing, especially for her, getting her some diamonds, any price range. They have a room at Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. Everything's under $1,000. A room dedicated. Everything's under $1,000. And at Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, it's only real diamonds, natural diamonds, 1 billion years old. Don't be fooled by these so-called diamond stores around Metro New Orleans that are peddling 3-week-old man-made diamonds, lab-created diamonds. All they do is depreciate. And the market is getting flooded by a lot of Chinese-made, lab-created, 3-week-old man-made diamonds. Get her the real deal. Get her 1 billion years old natural diamonds, real diamonds. You can do it at Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, starting at under $1,000 for a few $100. They have an entire room dedicated to it. Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, a few $100, a few $1,000, tens of thousands of dollars. Friend & Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
At Helm Paint, we go the extra mile with free delivery anywhere in the metro area. In the middle of a job and short on paint? Call us and we'll come to you.
Short on time? Call in your order and pick it up in the drive-thru at our Earhart Boulevard location.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's called more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Come on down to New Orleans' own Bourbon Street, the toilet of the Crescent City. Literally. Need to urinate? Pee right on one of the historic buildings. Need to vomit? It's okay. Throw up right in the street. Bourbon Street. Prostitution, drugs, strip joints, daiquiri shops, and trinket stores. The toilet of the Crescent City. Come on down. It's Bourbon Street. Come on down to New Orleans' own Bourbon Street, the toilet of the Crescent City. Literally. Need to urinate? Pee right on one of the historic buildings. Need to vomit? It's okay. Throw up right in the street. Bourbon Street. Prostitution, drugs, strip joints, daiquiri shops, and trinket stores. The toilet of the Crescent City. Come on down. It's Bourbon Street. One of kind of our mission statement type things, one of the things we're always pushing that I really haven't heard anyone else pushing this ever. How about reimagining Bourbon Street? How about making it a place where people actually want to go, where locals would like to go, where the, per head isn't $18, but maybe like $180, $1,800. Integrate it with Royal Street. Royal Street shuts down like 6 p.m. They put cages over the glass windows and doors because they don't want some drunk throwing his drink through the window, breaking in. And they shut it down on Royal Street. Could you imagine a Bourbon Street lit up with jazz clubs and cafes and get rid of the sleaziness, the lousy strip joints and just big-ass beer and trinket stores with crap? What's that, Blue Boy? You'd never want to walk down Bourbon Street as a dog because the street's so nasty. You're right, Blue Boy. I'd have to put some booties on your feet or something. You're right. And it should be reimagined and complement Royal Street and bring in a higher-end tourist. You're right. Blue Boy, you're a genius. Thanks for watching and listening. Mañana.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.